What's up, Broncos country? You think you know all the moves our franchise is making? Well, buckle up because a move just went down that could completely change our defensive line. While everyone was looking at other positions, our front office made a quiet play that might be the difference maker we've been looking for. Stick with me until the end of this video because what just happened in Denver will make you rethink everything about our defensive strategy for this season. And look, family, this might be one of those signings nobody saw coming, but that makes all the difference when the season heats up. Broncos country crew, our organization just announced the signing of Michael Dwumfour to strengthen our defensive line. And look, this move is way smarter than it appears on the surface. Dwumfour, who's 27 years old, isn't a name you'll hear on the big sports shows. But pay attention to what I'm about to tell you here. This guy went through our team's workouts this week and impressed so much that the front office decided to give him an opportunity. But let's talk about the real context behind this signing, family. Michael Dwumfour didn't get here by accident. Since entering the league as an undrafted free agent in 2021, this defensive tackle has already been with 6 other franchises. What does that mean? It means the guy has experience, has seen different systems, has faced adversity, and keeps fighting for his chance in the NFL. And check out his numbers. 13 games played across the Texans, 49ers, and Browns. He participated in 310 defensive snaps and even contributed with 28 special teams plays. That's 13 total tackles, half a sack, and 1 fumble recovery. It might seem like little to those who don't understand the game, but I'll explain why these numbers are more significant than they appear. Broncos country, you know how the NFL works. When a defensive tackle manages to stay in the league for 3 seasons, going through different systems and still getting called for workouts, it's because there's something special about him. Last season he played for the Browns, and now he's with us. Let's get to what really matters for our defense. Why the hell did our organization decide to sign Dwumfour right now? The answer lies in the depth of our roster and the versatility he can offer. Our defensive line needs players who understand different schemes. Dwumfour has been through organizations with completely different philosophies. The Texans focus a lot on pass rush. The 49ers have one of the most complex defenses in the league, and the Browns are known for their physicality. This guy absorbed knowledge from all these systems. And there's another crucial point, family. He just left the 49ers training camp a little over a week ago. That means he's in physical shape, knows modern schemes, and is hungry to prove his worth. He's not a guy who sat around during the offseason waiting for a chance. The corresponding move also says a lot about our strategy. We released linebacker J.B. Brown, an undrafted rookie, to make room for Dwumfour. This indicates our front office is prioritizing experience and versatility on the defensive line over unproven potential in the linebacker course. Talk to me, Broncos country. Did you notice how surgical our organization is being with signings? We're not making desperate moves, but rather precise adjustments to strengthen specific points on the roster. Here's an analysis you won't hear elsewhere, family. Michael Dwumfour represents exactly the type of player who can make a difference in a long season. He's not a star, won't show up on highlights every week, but he's the type of professional who wins games when we least expect it. Think about it. How many times in the NFL have we seen unknown players become fundamental pieces in playoff runs? Dwumfour is 27 years old, at the peak of physical and mental maturity, has been through different systems, and still has the hunger to prove his worth. His experience on special teams also can't be ignored. Special teams are fundamental in decisive games, and having a guy who can contribute both on defense and special plays is a luxury few teams have. And there's more. Broncos country. The league is increasingly competitive. The margins between victory and defeat are minimal. Having depth on the roster, especially on the defensive line, which suffers a lot of physical wear during the season, could be the difference between making the playoffs or staying home watching. Hold up. Stop right there, family. If you're real Broncos country and want to stay on top of all our franchise's moves, it's about time you hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications because here you'll find out first about everything happening in Denver. Now let's talk about realistic expectations for Michael Dwumfour on our defense. Don't expect him to become a star overnight, but pay attention to what he can bring to the group. First, depth. Our defensive line will face 17 regular season games, plus, God willing, the playoffs. Having an experienced player who can come into the game and not compromise the defensive system is fundamental. Second, quiet leadership. Players who fought to get where they are tend to be examples of dedication in practice. Dwumfour knows what it's like to have no guarantees in the NFL, and this can inspire other players, especially the younger ones. Third, tactical versatility. Experience in different systems allows our coaching staff to use him in specific situations, whether to stop the run or in pass rush situations. And look, family, there's something I need to say here. The NFL is unpredictable. We've seen players arrive without fanfare and become fundamental pieces. Dwumfour may not have the most well-known name, but he has the mentality and experience necessary to contribute when called upon. Broncos country. Let's remember some examples of players who arrived in Denver without much noise and made a difference. Our organization has a tradition of finding diamonds in similar situations. The beauty of this signing lies precisely in its simplicity. It's not a move that will generate national headlines, but it could be one of those that, at the end of the season, we'll look back and recognize as fundamental to our campaign. Dwumfour represents what our organizational culture has always valued: hard work, dedication, and opportunity for those willing to fight for every snap. He didn't get here by accident. He got here because he showed in workouts that he deserves to be wearing our jersey. And family, this is Broncos country. We're not about famous names or million-dollar signings. We're about finding players who buy into our philosophy and are willing to give everything for this franchise. One thing many people don't understand about the NFL is how each signing affects locker room dynamics. Dwumfour arrives as a veteran who has already faced adversity and kept fighting. This sends a clear message to the entire roster about resilience and determination. For the rookies and younger players on our defense, having someone like Dwumfour in the group means having a reference for how to behave professionally. He knows what it's like to fight for a spot, knows the value of every opportunity in the NFL. And for our coaching staff, it means having one more tactical option. In a sport where injuries are inevitable and roster depth is crucial, every experienced player available makes a difference. Broncos country. Can you visualize how this signing fits into the bigger puzzle of our season? It's not about being the most talented player available. It's about being the right player for what we need right. Now, let's talk about how Dwumfour will fit into our current defensive line. Internal competition is fundamental to keeping practice levels high and ensuring everyone is always giving their maximum. Our defensive line already has its established pieces, but the NFL is about depth. Injuries happen. Players go through moments of lower performance, and that's when players like Dwumfour show their value. He won't arrive wanting to revolutionize our defensive system. He'll arrive to play his role, contribute where necessary, and to be ready when called. And family, that's exactly the type of mentality our organization values. Now, being realistic about what to expect from Michael Dwumfour this season, he probably won't be a starter from the first game, but he could become an important piece in our defensive line rotation. In games where we need to stop specific running schemes, or in situations where depth is tested, Dwumfour could be crucial. And Broncos country, don't underestimate the impact a motivated player can have when he gets his opportunity. His experience on special teams also adds an extra dimension. You can bet our coaching staff is already thinking about how to use this. Versatility to our advantage. Family. This signing also speaks to our organizational philosophy. We continue being a franchise that gives opportunities to players who demonstrate dedication and potential, regardless of where they came from or how many chances they've already had. Dwumfour represents thousands of NFL players who keep fighting for the dream even after facing obstacles. If he manages to establish himself in Denver, it will be a victory not just for him, but for every player who has been released and kept believing. And look, Broncos country, this is what makes our franchise special. We're not just about pursuing the biggest available names. We're about finding players who fit our culture and are willing to fight for every yard. So, what do you think, Denver Broncos family? What do you think about this move? Can you see the potential Dwumfour can bring to our defense, or do you think we should have focused on other positions? I want to hear your opinions in the comments. Did any of you already follow his career with other teams? What are your expectations for him wearing our jersey? And family, regardless of opinions, one thing is certain. Our organization continues working to improve the roster. Every move, no matter how small it seems, is thought out strategically to give us the best chance of success. Michael Dwumfour may not be the name everyone expected to see arriving in Denver, but he represents exactly what our franchise has always valued: opportunity, hard work, and determination. His journey through the NFL, going through different teams and systems, prepared him for this moment. Now it's our chance to see if we can extract the best from him and if he can find his definitive place in the league wearing our jersey. Broncos country, what excites me most about this signing is the message it transmits. We continue being an organization that believes in giving chances to players who show dedication and potential. The season is coming, and every piece of our roster will be important. Dwumfour could be one of those pieces that, even without much initial fanfare, ends up making the difference in crucial moments. So what would you do, Denver Broncos family, if you were our coaching staff? Would you keep Dwumfour on the main roster, or do you think it's better to try other options still available in the market? Comment down below what your expectations are for him this season. Do you think he can surprise, or is he just another depth move? Hit that like if you enjoyed this detailed analysis of our new signing. Share it with those friends who are also Broncos country at heart. And don't forget, here you'll always stay on top of all our franchise's moves with analysis you won't find anywhere else. See you in the next video with more news from our Denver Broncos. Broncos country, let's go together for another season. Until next time, family, go Broncos.